Hi, and welcome to Inside View. I'm your host, Joel Metzger, and joining me today is Scott Anderson, who is the Road Superintendent for Calaveras County Public Works. Welcome.
Good morning.
Nice to have you. Good morning. Wow, I didn't know. I wanted to first apologize for being underdressed tonight. I will try to be a little bit more formal next time.
Me too as well.
Okay. You're just coming back from football, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And you have been helping out at CHS for how long?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what do you love about helping the kids out over there?
It's good to work with young men and teach them life skills. Yeah.
So it's more about than just winning.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's camaraderie with the kids and the coaching staff. We've worked together for quite a few years now.
So give me a season preview. How's Calaveras going to do this year?
I'm going to go Lou Holtz on you and say we're going to be okay. That's about it. We'll see how it goes. Play game by game, you know.
Okay. So that's one of the big parts of who you are in this community, but you're also been with Public Works for, is it about 19?
19, yeah.
Wow. So the football and the Public Works kind of started about the same time.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
Cool. And we're going to go into that, but before we go into your main job, I wanted to just introduce you to those who maybe don't know you. So you were born and raised here. Where were you born in San Andres?
In San Andres, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And did you spend your whole childhood here?
Yes. Went to high school here. Moved away to college for a few years, and traveled around. Moved from Santa Cruz to Sacramento, and had a couple of kids down there. Then we decided to raise our children up here in the foothills again, and here we are.
So when you were a kid, was Calaveras County a very different place, or do you still feel like it has the same feel?
It's got the same feel, yeah. It was a little more bustling back in the 80s when the plant was going, and there were a lot more people in town, but it's nice.
So when you were in high school, you were on the football team.
Right.
And what did you play?
I was an offensive lineman and a defensive end, yeah.
Okay, so you were taking some hits and giving some hits out a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Do you kind of coach that section of the team now, or
Yeah. I'm the O-line, D-line coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have those skills. Did you ever do college ball or anything like that?
I played 2 years of college ball. Yeah.
How was that?
It was exciting, fun.
Okay.
Yeah, good times.
For which school?
Cabrillo College.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were in high school, you were doing the football thing, but did you ever think, when I have a career, I want to be the head of the road department? Was that ever in your mind?
No.
It wasn't?
I just kind of fell into this. I was working for a engineering company, a local engineering company at the time, and a friend of the family told me there was an opening at the road department, and I applied and got the job as a road worker 1, entry level, and kind of circumnavigated my way around to where I'm at now throughout the years.
Have you worked like almost every different position throughout the...
I kind of jumped around. I worked at the road department for about 14 years as a road worker 1, 2. Then I kind of worked for the ag department a little bit in the spraying, portion of the position, off and on with the road department. And I did the roadside weed abatement stuff. And then from there, I went into the engineering department as an inspector for about 4 years. And then this position came up, and here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Between college and this job, what were some other things that you did?
Oh gosh, I was mainly into construction, building construction, track homes and such. So I really didn't have much street maintenance skills, once I started. But it's pretty basic, and you get the hang of it real quick.
Sure, and I imagine there was a good team then, and you still have a pretty good group of guys over there.
Oh, we got great guys. They work their tails off for us. We've got 27 employees now. We're down from about 46 to 27 employees. Yeah, we were close to 50 at one point in time back in the good old days. When money was good. And but yeah, these 27 guys do a really great job. We've got 4 districts that we work through. One being in Jennyland, the other one here in San Andres. We've got Glencoe, West Point area, and the Arnold corridor as well. So we maintain about, I would say somewhere around 800 miles of road.
Wow.
Yeah, that's our responsibility. And just quick math, that equates to about 28 miles per man to maintain. So, yeah, we have a lot of work out there that that we haven't even seen yet. It's just the nature of the beast right now.
So, I've always been confused by this, but we have county roads, and then we have, is it state roads?
Yeah.
And are those the only two people who control roads, and then private roads, I guess?
They're private, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so what are the roads that the state takes care of?
They're the state highway grid. Highway 4, Highway 26, 12, 88, those types of highway roads. And then we've got the major and minor collectors that feed those highways.
And how does a road become a county road? Does it go through some sort of a process and it's approved by the Board of Supervisors?
Yeah. We're trying to give roads away, not take on anymore.
Okay.
That's my mantra right now. No, the board, if they want to, if we have a new subdivision come in, for instance, and they want us to take over the maintenance, they have what they call a CSA, and it's a county service agreement, and we come in and service them, and we charge them from their road maintenance dues or fees or whatever you want to call them.
And is that something that you've been doing lately, taking on new roads, or has it been pretty much nothing new?
Yeah, we haven't taken on any in the past since I've been here, we haven't taken on any, no.
Oh, okay. So this is
Yeah.
definitely kind of just staying even, and you guys just need to keep up with all the work because everything gets old and starts cracking.
Right, yeah.
What's the main stuff you guys are doing out there usually?
Our scope of work, it's predicated on the season. In the fall and the winter, we're doing a lot of ditching, so the water, actually stays off of the roadway, and culvert cleaning and stuff like that. Debris removal. We really concentrate up in the Arnold area, especially to keep the ditches and the culverts clean, so we don't have a lot of flooding. They're on those elevated pads up there, so we could really do some damage if we don't keep up on that.
Okay.
Then in the summer, we're mainly doing road maintenance, preventative maintenance, and major projects when we do have them.
Did you mention spraying the weed? Is that one of the things you guys do?
Yeah, unfortunately, the last couple of years, that's been cut out of that line item's been cut from the budget, and it's with all these wildfires that are happening around the area, it kind of makes you want to slap that back in the budget. But it is what it is. We try to do the best we can with our flail mowers and stuff, early on. But once the season gets longer and the tinder gets, the grass gets a little more susceptible to the fire, we don't do any of the flail mowing at all.
So with the weed spraying, are you actually just going along with like a tractor or a truck, and you're just spraying that onto the embankments, and that's early on? So
yeah, they start in January. The program starts in January and all the way through into June. It takes that long to get all of our roads sprayed. Normally we do an 8-foot path, a swath that we call it, from the edge of road to the cut, and we reduced it down to 4 feet, and then to save some money, and then finally we just had to cut it out of the budget just to make ends meet.
Is that like a fire prevention thing, or is
Absolutely, yes.
That's completely fire prevention?
Yeah.
Okay. I think kind of makes the roads look clean too.
Yeah. It's good, and it's you can see all the reflectors and and the ditches. You want to be able to stay out of those things as well. So.
What about are there any concerns about the chemicals going into the drainage or anything like that? Does that cause an impact?
No, it's all topical, and it's absorbed through the roots, and it's basically just Roundup.
Okay.
It's nothing that's environmentally unsafe.
Okay. When I see various road projects go on, sometimes I see what Caltrans is doing right now, and it seems like they're grinding up the road, and then they're putting some oil down and putting a brand new layer on. But I also see, especially on county roads, more of a patchwork, kind of just where the wheels go, you might get new pavement, but then the others are not being replaced. Is that a financial thing, or how do you decide what to do?
Well, we do an assessment, and that's kind of part of my job description. I go out and I assess the roads and with an engineer as well. And we take the worst roads and we assess a certain amount of footage And then we figure out if it's a a complete overlay or if it's an inlay project like you saw it on Mountain Ranch Road, and then we go from there. And normally, and it is a cost saving measure. We're not paving the whole complete lane, which is a good thing.
Now, some roads have like a really nice base. I don't know if there's like a state standard that you have some gravel down there and it's kind of all sitting nice. And then some other roads seems like you're just paving right on almost the dirt.
Yeah.
What's the difference there?
The difference is 1950s engineering and the 20th century new stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. In the 50s, they got away from all the compaction and R-value standards. They didn't get away from it. They just weren't as crucial and in terms of the weight of vehicles and how many vehicles are on roads. Obviously, less people, less garbage trucks, equals less impact on the road. Now, those roads that were engineered back in those days are falling apart because of the substandard subgrades and cross sections. So, yeah.
When you guys go back in and a road's falling apart, do you ever have the money to go and put the right base down, or are you just paving right over what's already there?
We go in and we patch it up as well as we can. We have standards that we go by, and we follow the Caltrans standard book. And if we do a dig out or a complete grind and overlay, we will lay a cross section down, depending on what the R value is, and R value is what type of soil you have, and so and that's all engineered driven. So they will tell us what type of cross section that we have that we will need in terms of gravel to asphalt base.
What causes these roads to crack?
Substandard. Subgrade and cross sections.
Okay, so something's moving down there.
Yeah, it's just once you get a crack, the water's going to hit it and eventually seep into the subgrade, and then once big vehicles drive over it, it softens up and gives you a soft spot.
That tar, is that just a way to kind of prolong the life and stop the cracks a little bit that I see you guys put down?
Yeah, we do a lot of crack sealing. It's a preventative maintenance. It just gives us a few more years before we can get back and actually do those roads or actually dig them out and overlay them.
Okay, so not like Highway 4 here, because that's not even you guys, but a well-used road. Let's say you have a nice base that's up to standard and you have the fresh pavement on there. How long would that feasibly last before it would need?
We're talking 25, 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And we like to if we do a complete overlay, say for a mile, we will go back in 2 years and crack fill it, just to give it a few more years of life. Yeah. A big problem with our county is it's the drainage systems. They're substandard as well. We've got 12-inch culverts crossing major collector roads, and a lot of water runs through those things. And if there's a backup or the ditch isn't flowing well, the water sits in that area, and what happens is it starts to what we call pump, and the roads start to pump, and then we lose the road there.
Okay, so drainage would be
drainage is a major part of our operations in the fall.
Can you ever get the money to maybe put bigger culverts in, or would that be a lot of?
You know what? I think they're working on a grant to upgrade culverts. Yeah, I think that's in the works right now.
All right, so it seems like throughout the whole season, you guys are always doing something. You're
Right.
never really just kind of waiting around. More work than you could really get to with the number of people you have, and probably not enough funding to get to everything because you have to be able to pay for these. And I imagine all this stuff is pretty expensive.
Yeah, it varies. Just to get a vehicle to the project, just fuel cost alone is a major issue with us. We try to ride two guys to a vehicle, at all times, so we can save some costs there. But for us to say, if we're doing a paving project, for instance, we have to drive to either Clements, Escalon, or Table Mountain in Jamestown to get our material.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're so rural that it takes a long time for us to get, and a lot of money, we're paying wages, fuel, and plus the material costs. So it's a extensive operation.
Let's say some people live on a road that is pretty bumpy and has some cracks and potholes in it, and they're saying, man, I sure would like to see the county repave this or at least patch it. Do you ever get calls like that?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you tell people like that?
On a daily basis, believe me. Yeah.
Okay.
And no fault of theirs. They want to drive their brand new car on a nice road, but it's unfortunate. What we have is a system set up. It's through the Public Works Department, and they can go online and fill out an online service request, which, by the way, is a great vehicle for us to find out what's going on out there. With 27 guys and 800 miles of road, we need their help. We need the community's help to tell us what's going on. But to get back on subject, yeah, we do. We get calls all the time about when the road's redone or at least patched, and we do the best we can, depending on what we're doing that time of year.
And you said part of your job is doing the analysis of different roads. Is there kind of like an algorithm where you say how many people use this and how bad it is, and you put all those factors together? How does that work?
Yeah, the engineering department has one of those programs that they use to kind of dictate what roads are to be worked on. Major collector roads are to be worked on next, but that doesn't necessarily fit my what we do. If the road, is called up from the engineering department, by all means, we go out and take care of business. But ours is we're pretty much chasing our tail from 10 years ago. Stuff that needed to be done 5 years ago, we're doing now, just for the fact that the seasons are short, and we only have like I said before, a few men to do the work that we do. So.
And as we've talked about, budget constraints can kind of exacerbate that problem. I wanted you to just inform the viewers about a recent preliminary budget decision that the Board of Supervisors made, which was to take a chunk of money from the Public Works budget. Was it your budget specifically, or was it the general fund?
It was the Public Works budget, and we it's kind of a touchy situation. I don't want to speak too much on it, but I'll kind of hit all the edges anyway. We have line items for each individual instance. For instance, utilities, we have line items for fuel, and we just had to shave our line items down to and eliminate some line items, like I talked about before, the roadside spraying and such like that. So it was a big hit. We got some of the money back, or most of the money back, and it went into the Public Works Department. And Tom and the staff, as we speak, are trying to make the decision on where they're going to implement the funds.
And the money that came back came through what organization?
That's a good question. I'm not really too sure where the funding came back from, but
they were able to locate it.
We were glad to take it, I'm telling you.
For sure.
Yeah.
If that money hadn't come back, do you think that people would have felt the pain of that budget being slashed by, about what, almost $300,000?
Somewhere in that area, yeah. I don't know. We've been taking cuts for 4 years now. We're as lean as we're ever going to get. We've been able to keep our guys working, and that's the main goal, is to keep all of our employees. We've had 7 openings, or 7 positions not filled within the last 4 years that I've been here. So basically, if a man retires, we don't fill his position. So okay. we're kind of running really, really lean right now. So yeah, I mean, you're going to feel the impacts, but we just do the best we can, and it's my job to make things work at the end of the year.
Sure.
Fit 5 pounds of stuff in a 2-pound sack and go on.
So one of the big concerns, which it sounds like we're going to be okay on, is snow removal. A lot of people in the high country really depend on your crew,
right,
to get them out of their homes and so they can drive. Just want to ask you, will anything that happened with the budget have any impact on snow removal?
I wouldn't say so. It's going to be one of those seasons where it's predicted to be dry, so we have to prepare for the worst. Every snowstorm up in the Highway 4 corridors is a different beast, basically. You've got some that blow in undetected. It looks like it's going to just stay somewhere else, and overnight it comes. So we have to prepare like it's a big storm every time. With the guys that we have, they do a great job. We run 3 8-hour shifts, and with the utilization of what we call an extra hire crew of about 50 guys that we call in.
Wow.
Yeah, not all at the same time, but periodically we'll bring them in and have them supplement our staff.
Do they use county equipment or do they have their own equipment?
County equipment, yeah.
Okay. What was it? Rebecca Callan said something to the board about I'm not going to pay I think it was for snow removal, wasn't it? Certain overtime or something like that? I can't remember.
For years, apparently we've been paying the extra hire snow plow drivers overtime, and I guess Rebecca went and researched it, and it's one of the codes or a state law that she found. Yeah, it was tough. We lost a few guys, but Rebecca's doing her job, and I respect that, and she's doing a great job, by the way. But yeah, we lost a couple of guys due to that, but for the most part, we go and we lose 3, we'll hire 3 more. There are guys out there that want to do it. So for just the 8-hour pay,
Okay.
So.
And Rebecca Callan's the auditor controller,
Yeah.
for those who don't know. So so there's no more overtime for the extra hire.
Extra hire plow truck.
Okay, but for the guys who are full time, they still get overtime.
Yeah,
just like anybody else would.
Yeah, we run the 3 8-hour shifts to, get away from overtime. For one, we're saving a little money. 2, the guys after a 21-day storm, working 12-hour shifts, they're cranky and they don't want to be there anymore. So it's easier on them. Maybe not as much on the pocketbook, but I mean, their health and welfare. They're home at night seeing their kids, or in the morning taking them to school. So I think that's a good thing, and I've got some positive feedback from that implementing that system. So
how long has that been in place?
2 years. We've done it for 2 years, and
2 years.
Yeah, and we've relatively had 2 mild seasons too. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
When you first took over in your current position, that was what, a couple years ago?
2010.
2010, so 3 years ago. It was not a week after you took over that there was some giant storm.
Yeah, that Thanksgiving storm hit, and yeah, that was the worst of the worst. It couldn't happen at a worse time too.
What made that storm so bad?
Just it snuck up on us. The foliage in the trees. It's early in the season. A heavy snowfall without the trees dropping all their leaves yet causes limbs to break, trees to come down, and we had heavy winds during that time as well. And so what happens is trees go across power lines go out, power's out obviously, but we can't go in and plow these roads until the area is secure.
Okay.
So people are basically landlocked, and so it's frustrating. We had a few instances where we didn't get to some people for about 3 days, to actually clear their roads. They were snowshoeing out and doing their thing. So yeah, it was pretty rough.
Do you have to, as the head guy, hear some calls from people who are not happy with snow being in their driveway?
Pretty much every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
During the winter time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got to be frustrating. I can understand their disdain for snowplow drivers after about 21 days of cleaning their driveways, and then every time they get it clean, move their car out to go to the store and come back, there's a berm before they can't even pull in their driveway now. So I understand that, but it's part of the business, We're here to get it off the road.
Yeah. And what did you say one time, that one thing you can always count on is that eventually the snow will melt?
Yep. I learned that from Dan Elzig. He was an old superintendent here, and he said, "Don't worry about it. It's going to melt." So that's a good thing. But yeah, it's frustrating. I can understand where the people are coming from up there. We do the best we can, though.
How many snowy roads, or like miles of snow roads, do you have any idea you guys have to take care of?
About 300 in the Arnold corridor alone. I think it's somewhere in the 300-mile range.
Wow.
Yeah, lane miles. And we have to plow 2 lanes. So You know, you take a path up one side, then you take a path up, so it's taking 2 trips every time we plow a road.
And then there are subdivisions off of those
Yeah,
roads?
that's including that mileage, and that's, you know, just a rough estimate, but yeah, all these subdivisions up there.
Like 20 or more, would you say? Or?
Subdivisions?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, there's quite a few.
Quite a few,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
When people are trying to understand what you guys are doing, you have the snow that if you can get it off right away, you're okay. But once that snow kind of melts and then freezes, it becomes a much different beast. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you kind of have this ice that forms. What do you guys do to try to avoid getting to that situation?
We try to get on it right away.
Okay.
Up in our area, if the sun comes out, it turns it into slush, and it even makes it worse of a problem because it kind of crystallizes and gets a thicker base on it. We try to put some a chemical down that breaks the ice, puts a barrier between the asphalt and the ice. Pre-emergent, basically. It's we lay down a layer of this stuff in all the intersections, and then it helps us break the ice. But you know, it's almost impossible to get it all.
And people should watch out for the lower area of subdivisions because more ice will accumulate there.
Absolutely.
And then, as you've always said, just slow down out there. Right.
Yeah. They should always have traction control devices in their car or on during you know, stormy events, especially up in the Arnold area. Yeah.
Looking toward the future, what do you see as some of the main challenges that you will face?
Oh, gosh. In terms of just general road work?
Just doing your job and
just budgetary stuff. You know, the budget is really, like I said, we're really lean right now. We've taken, like I said before, we've taken cut after cut after cut. So I want to keep all my guys working. That's my main concern. These guys, they do a terrific job for the community. They do a terrific job for me, and they represent us well. And to see one of those guys go because of because of the budget would, you know, crush me, number one, because they're a great bunch of guys, and they do great work for us.
And as far as we know, we're not looking at any personnel cuts.
Absolutely not. Absolutely,
so
we will cut to the very most maximum before we get rid of anybody. So yeah, we're keeping all the guys we have.
And if people want to find out more about Public Works, there's a county website.
Yeah.
And there's a Public Works tab there. You can go in, get the number and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Are they able to see you or call you, or if they want to stop by, they could ask for you?
Yeah, you can set up an appointment and we can chat. You know, I'm always on the run, but I will make time for anybody that wants to come in and talk turkey. You know.
All right, Scott.
I'd like to say one thing really fast. We have a snow line on that website, and during snow events, we keep a daily update of traffic control issues, outages, road closures, and we give the weather outlook for, I think it's a 3-day weather outlook. So if anybody is living in the Bay Area and they want to find out what it's going to be like in their subdivision where their cabins are, they can go online and figure it out. And the snow line is 754-6017, and they'll have a daily recording this winter.
Cool. Hey, thanks for joining me.
All right.
Appreciate it. And thank you for joining me on this edition of Inside View. I'm your host, Joel Metzger, and I hope to see you here next time.